Hi, welcome to online session of design and analysis of algorithms. Now in this lecture, we will discuss about how branch and bound algorithm design technique will be used to solve some problems like knapsack problem, job sequencing with deadline problem, traveling salesman problem, and 15 puzzle problems. Those problems can be solved by using branch and bound technique. We will briefly discuss in this session. Students, basically now we are entering into unit 6 now. We are talk about unit 6. The concept is branch and bound. So here there are there are the algorithm design techniques. There are various algorithm design techniques which can be useful for solving complex real-time problems. So basically the algorithm design techniques are classified into 5 different types which are listed below. We already discussed and solved various applications by using divide and conquer algorithm design technique. By using greedy technique also we are solving many problems, and dynamic programming also we used, backtracking also we used to solve complex problems. Now, now in this session we will talk about branch and bound algorithm design technique. So this is the last algorithm design technique which can be used to provide the solution to some problems which are failed earlier by using the concept of dynamic programming and greedy technique. Suppose, let me tell you, there are some problems which cannot be solved by using greedy and dynamic programming, like knapsack problems, and also ESP, traveling salesman problems. When greedy method and dynamic programming method cannot produce optimal results for solving knapsack problem and traveling salesman problem. These problems can be solved in an efficient manner by using a new algorithm design technique that is called as branch and bound algorithm design technique. Now we will talk about how branch and bound algorithm design technique works to solve those problems which I clearly described in this session. Okay. Now let us discuss briefly about how branch and bound algorithm design technique will work to solve the real-time examples or problems. Students, in Unit 6, the following are list of topics which can be covered in this unit, and you need to focus each and every topic carefully. You should not have a chance or probability to leave a particular topic. Why? Because the topics which are listed below all are very, very important, and you can much more focus on 15 puzzle problem, 0 by 1 knapsack problem, traveling salesman problem. Definitely, you may get, definitely, the university may definitely ask one question among these three. One is 15 puzzle problem, 0 by 1 knapsack problem, and traveling salesman problem. You can expect one important question, you can expect one question from those selected topics. So, my sincere request is you should not leave highlighted topics. You should be focused on the topics which I have been highlighted here. And remaining all also topics also important, but these are much more important. You should not leave those topics what I have been marked here in this session. Okay. Now we will move to another slide, that is the general method. So what is the general method we are following and we are adopting and we are implementing to solve the real-time applications we will discuss in this session. Now let me clarify why branch and bound is required exactly, how the branch and bound technique is differ when you compare with backtracking. We will clearly discuss in this online lecture. Okay. So here, branch and bound algorithm design technique is like as a backtracking algorithm design technique, but the difference between backtracking and branch and bound algorithm design techniques is we will discuss now. Okay. Now the first one is a branch and bound algorithm is a systematic approach. It is a systematic approach which can be used for solving optimization problems. Very, very important. To solve optimization problems, we simply use branch and bound technique. So here the question is, what is mean by optimization? What is mean by optimization is the question. Optimization in the sense, it is used to solve either maximization problems or minimization problems. To solve maximization problems or minimization problems, we use optimization problem. So optimization problem may require either maximum result or minimum result. It will be mainly depends on which type of the problem you want to select and you want to work on that. So hence I can conclude that optimization problem means either maximum or minimum. So always we go for recommended to find the minimization to solve minimization problems. We are not focused on maximization problems. Even if the given problem is maximization problem, you need to convert the maximization problem into minimization problem by using branch and bound technique to get the solution in a easy manner. Okay. Next is branch and bound method. Why we are using, this is the question. We use the branch and bound method because of two reasons. The first one is when greedy and dynamic programming method fails. When greedy and dynamic programming techniques are failed due to provide optimal solution, due to provide optimal results. In this case, we will simply apply branch and bound technique. So some of the examples we will discuss here. We can solve 0 by 1 knapsack problem and traveling salesman problems by using both greedy method and dynamic programming method. But there is no guarantee whether we will get the optimal solution when we try to solve the problems like 0 by 1 knapsack problem or 0 to 1 knapsack problems by using greedy and dynamic programming, and also traveling salesman problems whenever we are planning to solve the problem to get the optimal solution. These two methods are failed. In this case, instead of using both greedy and dynamic programming technique, we simply adopt or use branch and bound technique to get the optimal solution or to get the minimization problem solution. Here, if you apply branch and bound technique, it is very slow. It is much, the performance of branch and bound technique is very slow when you can compare with other algorithm design technique like greedy, dynamic, and backtracking. It is very slow, but it will lead to the time complexity in worst case. Why? Because the performance is very slow. That's why you need to focus, you need to perform worst case time complexity. But if you focus on much more intelligent way, you can have the provision to get average time complexity instead of worst case time complexity if you intelligently apply the concept of branch and bound technique to the given problem. Otherwise, it will shows worst case time complexity only. And one more comparison important topic is branch and bound technique will works on the principle of BFS, breadth first search, whereas backtracking will work on depth first search. So this is the main difference between backtracking and branch and bound. In backtracking and in branch and bound technique, in both technique, you need to construct one state space tree to get the optimal solution. In both branch and bound technique and backtracking technique, you need to construct state space tree, but here you need to construct the state space tree by using two tree techniques. One is BFS, another one is DFS. BFS is used for branch and bound technique, whereas DFS is used for backtracking technique. Backtracking techniques. This is the main difference between both backtracking and branch and bound. Now let us see how DFS and BFS trees can be constructed by using state space tree. The comparison we will discuss in next slide. So some of the applications which can be really solved by using branch and bound algorithm design techniques are listed below. Those are, first one is 15 puzzle problem. You can solve the puzzle like 15 puzzle problems by using branch and bound technique. Another important applications are 0 by 1 knapsack problem or traveling salesman problem. Traveling salesman problem and 0 by 1 knapsack problems also can be solved by using branch and bound algorithm design technique. So we already discussed earlier what is meant by knapsack problem. There is a knapsack, there is a bag, and you have some items like item 1, item 2, item 3. Each item is having profits P1, P2, P3, and each item is having some weights like W1, W2, weight 2, and weight 3. And the capacity of the knapsack is M. The main objective of knapsack problem is You can fill the knapsack you can fill the knapsack with items whatever available here with items, but finally you need to maximize the profit. You need to gain maximum profit. The condition is sum of wi xi cannot be exceed the knapsack capacity. The sum of weights of items filled in the bag cannot be exceeded the knapsack capacity. And finally you will get the profit is maximized. You will maximize the profit. In this way you can solve the problem. This problem can be called as an knapsack problem. The knapsack problem can be solved by using either greedy method or or dynamic programming method. So in both methods we can use it to solve knapsack problem. But here when greedy method and dynamic programming method fails to provide or produce best results or optimal results, in this case instead of applying both failure methods like greedy method and dynamic programming method, simply we can provide the solution by using the concept of branch and bound algorithm design technique. Now another technique, another example is application is traveling salesman problem. Traveling salesman problem in the sense there are some n number of cities. There are some cities. These are called as cities. Okay. Assume that this is the first city. The person can start from one city. The person from start from one city and he has to visit all the remaining cities exactly once. He need to visit all the remaining cities exactly once and come back to the original city, that means that starting city, and come back to the starting city. So he has to visit all the cities exactly once and come back to the source city where he started. And finally you need to find the minimum traveling cost. You need to find the minimum tour cost. You need to find the minimum tour cost. That is called as a traveling salesman problem. That is called as a traveling salesman problem. In traveling salesman problem, a person can start from one starting city. He has to visit all the remaining cities only once, exactly once, and he has to reach the original city where he started. And finally the minimum route is to be identified. That is called as a traveling salesman problem. The traveling salesman problem also can be solved by using dynamic programming. When dynamic programming algorithm design technique fails to produce optimal results or optimal solution, in this case we simply apply backtracking, branch and bound algorithm design technique to get the optimal solution. Okay. Friends, here you have two definitions. The first one is what is mean by branching, what is mean by bounding. Branching in the sense, branching means a way of covering feasible regions by splitting the nodes into several small feasible subregions. That is called as a branching. Branching in the sense it is a hierarchical tree. This is the reason. If the region is split into some number of sub-regions, and you will get the solution. Once you will not get solution, and again break the solution into some number of sub-solutions and check whether you will get the optimal solution or not. This type of stage-wise tree can be drawn by using state, space, tree, this type of construction of state space tree is considered as a branching, Next one is bounding function. What is mean by bounding function? There is a boundary regions are there. The fastest way of finding both upper and lower bounding for the optimal solution within feasible separation is called as a bounding function. For every result, you will get one upper solution and you will get one lower region. And these upper and lower regions are to be, you need to be mentioned for each and every node that can be clearly defined bounding functions. So one is upper region, another one is lower region of each and every node is to be calculated for finding the minimization problem clearly. Students, this is very important. The question is, what are the branch and bound searching techniques? What are the branch and bound searching techniques? There are three branch and bound searching techniques are available generally, which are clearly listed below, namely FIFO branch and bound, that is called first in, first out branch and bound search. Second one is LIFO branch and bound search. Last in, first out branch and bound search. And the last searching technique is LC branch and bound search, that is called LCBB. We can call this one as a simply LCBB stands for least cost branch and bound technique. So these three are considered as branch and bound searching techniques. So here, FIFO in the sense, first in the first out in the sense, we use queue. What is mean by queue? Which type of data structure is used for first in first out search? We generally use a queue. In last in first out methodology, we obviously use the queue, the data structure is stack. Here we use data structures as both queue and stack are considered as data structures. These queue and stack data structures are used to search last in first out and first in first out branch and bound searching techniques. So when we considered queue for searching first in first out, we used we used BFS, breadth first search technique for constructing state space tree, whereas in list last in first out search we use DFS, depth first search for constructing the state space tree. Now we will discuss what is the difference between BFS and DFS clearly in the next slide. In the next slide, we will discuss clearly the difference among BFS and DFS. Now let us consider the difference among BFS and DFS. So already we discussed in branch and bound, we basically used which type of methodology, or in backtracking BT, backtracking. In backtracking, which type of tree we use, traverser we use is, in backtracking will works DFS, depth first search traversal is used for constructing the tree, state space tree. In backtracking, sorry, branch and bound technique, we use DFS, depth first, sorry, sorry, we use BFS, breadth first search is used for constructing the state space tree. Now we will see the difference between both BFS and DFS. Okay. Now let me consider the clear difference between backtracking and branch unbound. Why we use backtracking? A backtracking is an algorithm design technique which can be used to identify, I provide all the available feasible solutions to get the optimal solution in minimum number of steps. That's why we prefer backtracking algorithm technique. So when we apply backtracking algorithm design technique, we need to construct a state space tree. Here, this is considered as a state space tree. First, initially one node, then at the leftmost side, you need to construct one more node called 2. Then the leftmost side, one more node is to be, you can be generated. Next, one more node to be generated, that is node 4. Once node 4 is generated, okay, then you will not get the solution for this tree 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4. Even if you will not get the solution, then you simply apply backtracking technique. Once backtracking technique is applied back to node 4 to node 3, and even you can select the direction instead of 3 to 4, you can divert from 3 to 5. Then you can check whether you will get the solution or not. And even if you will not get the solution for node 5, again apply backtracking technique and go back to node 3, and you will not get the solution for the child nodes of node 3, 4 and 5, you will not get the solution. Then only you can go back to node 2 and you can divert the direction. Instead of going from 2 to 3, you move from 2 to 6, you move from 2 to 6. And here, if you find the solution and you can consider this is the, you can consider this is the option, this is the solution for getting the result or optimal solution. So in this way, we can follow the procedure for constructing the state space tree. So here we are following DFS, depth first search traversal technique for constructing the tree. So in the left side, tree first complete, then keep on adding right side leaves in depth first search. But whereas when you are planning to construct a tree for branch and bound algorithm design technique, we simply follow BFS, breadth first search, we can use for constructing the tree. So how you use constructing a tree by using BFS is, there are two ways you can construct the state space tree. One is queue, another one is stack. There are two ways. One is queue, another one is stack. These are two data structures which can be used to construct the tree. When you can select a queue, first in, first out, first in, first out. Here in backtracking, we are keep on adding the nodes at the left side first. Later on, we can add at the right side first. Here in breadth first search, initially the node is 1, then you can add node 2, then middle node, node 3, last node, node 4. In the second stage only, you can you can add all the possible nodes. Once second node step is over, second stage is over, then you can keep on adding first in, first out. Which node is first in the second stage? Which node is comes first? Node 2 comes first. Then only you can try to add chain nodes to the first node. So this is here the first node is 2. That's why I have been added the chain node 5 and one more node 6 I have been added. So that's why I can consider this is the first in, first out. So here, so the data structure can be filled with some elements like 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. These nodes can be filled in the first in, first out. Why I am filling first in, first out is, so in this stage here, which nodes comes first, which children comes first? Node 2, node 3, node 4 comes first, then only node 5, node 6 will come. So that's why always when you use first in first out for queue searching technique, so this is the way you can follow. Next technique is FIFO technique. First, last, sorry, LIFO technique. Last in, first out technique that can be solved by using stack only. Stack only. If you want to search the elements, so the keep on constructing the tree by using state space tree. Initially, the first element is to be selected. Next, add one more element 2. Next node is 3. Next node is 4. Once all three nodes are to be constructed in first stage, next we need to think which node to be added, which chain node is to be added. If it is a first in first out, first node is 2 comes, that's why I have been added chain nodes here. But here you need to focus on last in first out. So which node is last in the stage? Here in the stage, last node is 4. Node 4 is last node. That's why you can try to add the subnodes for last node which can be reflected over here. And you can create one data structure here, fill the data structure with some of the nodes are last in, first out. Last in, first out. Which one is last? 6 is last in. So 6. Next last one is 5. Next last one is 3. Next last one is 2. In this way, you can try to fill the nodes or elements in the data structure. Students, I hope you clearly observed the difference between backtracking and branch and bound with the help of data structures, stack and queue, and traversal algorithms like breadth first search and how depth first search will work. So this can be adapted for upcoming topics also for solving the problems. So this is very, very, very important. So what is the main difference between backtracking and branch and bound is branch and bound we use BFS and backtracking we use DFS for constructing state space tree. And here backtracking it will be focused on optimal solutions, whereas in branch and bound we will focus on minimization problems, that is optimization problems, that is called always try to minimize the solution. Okay, so these are the main difference between backtracking and branch and bound. Students, you may expect one question in the university examinations. What are the difference between backtracking and branch and bound technique? Okay. So next, we will discuss some basic definitions. So why we need to learn these basic definitions is if you want to construct a state space tree by using depth first search and breadth first search, these definitions will play a vital role. That's why we need to define some definitions of nodes here. Okay. The first one is live node. What is mean by live node? This is the question. Live node means active node. Still, the node is in active mode. That is called as a live node. If any node is functioning and it is in the form of a active node, that is called as a live node. But in technically, how to write the definition of live node is a node which has been generated, a node which has been generated, node 1 is generated, and all of those children have not yet been generated is live node. So a node which do not have generated chain nodes further, that is called as a live node. That is called as a live node. If you consider here node 2, node 3, if you consider node 2, node 3, there is no way of further children nodes can be generated for node 3. Children nodes can be generated for node 2 and node 3. Further, there is no possibility of generating child nodes for node 2 and node 3. Hence, I can consider here node 2 and node 3 are to be considered as live nodes. Live nodes. There is no possibility of constructing or generating child nodes. But one node 1 is not a live node. Node 1 is not a live node. These two are considered as node 2, node 3 are considered as live nodes, but node 1 is not live node since all the children of 1 are generated. Children are generated for node 1 are 2 and 3. So node 1 having two children nodes, that's why it is not considered as a live nodes. There is no children for node 2 and no children nodes for node 3. That's why node 2 and node 3 are to be considered as live nodes. Node 1 is not to be considered as live node. Here this is not live. This is not live node. Node 1 is not a live node and node 2, node 3 are considered as live nodes. These two are considered as live nodes. Why? Because further there is no way of constructing or generating children nodes for node 2 and node 3. That's why we can consider node 3 and node 3, node 2 and node 3 are live nodes. So friends, we discussed how to construct live nodes. Okay. Next, we will see another definition is that is e-node. What is mean by e-node? E-node stands for electronic node. What is mean by e-node? E-node in the sense the live node whose children are currently being generated. The live nodes whose children are currently being generated is called the e-node. Is called the e-node. That means that node being expanded. Node being expanded. Now consider a tree here. Here, basically, node 2 and node 3 are considered as node 2, node 3 are considered as live nodes as we talk about in the earlier slide. And here, node 2 children are currently being expanded. There is one child node is currently expanded for node 2. The children node is 4. So E node in the sense it is a live node. E node is a live node. First, before finding a E node, the E node should be selected from a live node. But here, how many live nodes are there? This is live node. This is also live node. This is not a live node. But you need to select any one of the node that can be satisfy the condition that is called as a E node. But here, which node is having further expanded, node 2 is having further expanded. That's why this node is to be considered as E node. This node is to be considered as E node. Node 2 is considered as E node because node 2 is considered as a live node and the live node whose children 4 are currently being expanded. That's why this is called as a E node. Node 3 is live node. Node 2 is considered as a live node and it is furtherly expandable. That's why it is considered as a E node. It is considered as a E node. Students, don't confuse. Once again, I will explain. Once again, I will explain what is E node and what is live node. Okay. Please do not confuse here. Mouse. So we have to draw. I want to draw. Yeah. Take a pen. Yeah. I want to draw. Here. Live nodes means node 2, node 3 are live nodes. We have seen earlier. Why? Because they do not have any children nodes. That's why these two nodes are considered as live nodes. But E node means E node can be generated from live nodes. So వీటి రెండులోనే ఈ నోడ్ ఉంటుంది. ఈ నోడ్ అనేది నోడ్ 2 కానీ నోడ్ 3 కానీ ఈ నోడ్ అంటాం. ఎందుకంటే లైవ్ నోడ్స్ నుంచే ఈ నోడ్ అనేది జనరేట్ అవుతుంది. లైవ్ నోడ్స్ నుంచే ఈ నోడ్ అనేది జనరేట్ అవుతుంది. బట్ కండిషన్ ఏంటి? దీనిని లైవ్ నోడ్ అంటున్నాం. ఎందుకు దీనిని లైవ్ నోడ్ అంటున్నాము? ఫర్దర్ గా చిల్డ్రన్ నోడ్స్ అనేవి లేవు. అందుకని లైవ్ నోడ్ 3ని లైవ్ నోడ్ అంటున్నాం. నోడ్ 2ని లైవ్ నోడ్ అంటున్నాము. బట్ దీనికి ఫర్దర్ గా చిల్డ్రన్ ఎక్స్పాండ్ అవుతుంది. ఎక్స్పాండ్ అవ్వడానికి పాసిబిలిటీ ఉంది. వన్ చిల్డ్రన్ నోడ్స్ ఆల్సో ఎక్స్పాండ్ అయిపోయింది నోడ్ 2కి. అందుకని నోడ్ 2ని we can consider as node 2 as we can consider as E node. Node 2 is to be considered as E node. Why node 2 is to be considered as E node? ఎందుకని అంటున్నామంటే E node అంటే ఏంటంటే E node అంటే అది ఆల్రెడీ లైవ్ నోడ్ అయి ఉండాలి. సో నోడ్ 2 అనేది ఆల్రెడీ లైవ్ నోడ్ అయి ఉండాలి. బట్ ప్రజెంట్ ఎక్స్పాండ్ అవడానికి పాసిబిలిటీ ఉండాలి. ఎక్స్పాండ్ కూడా అయింది. సో అందుకని నోడ్ 2ని ఈ నోడ్ గా కన్సిడర్ చేస్తున్నాము. ఓకే, దిస్ ఇస్ ద ఎక్స్ప్లెనేషన్. నెక్స్ట్ డెడ్ నోడ్. డెడ్ నోడ్ మీన్స్ యూజ్లెస్ నోడ్. It is a generated node. It is a generated node that is either not to be expanded further. That is either not to be expanded further or one for which all of its children have been generated. Now clearly observe here. Here node 1 is already expanded. Node 1 is expanded. Why? Because node 1 is having two children nodes, node 2, node 3. It is already expanded. Okay. Node 2 children are currently being expanded. Node 2 is considered as E node and the children is expanded further. Children nodes also expanded. So it is considered as E node. Node 2 is considered as E node. Node 3 is considered as live node. It is called as a live node. Okay. And we can assume that node 3 and node 4 are not expanded. There is no expansion of node 3 and further there is no expansion of node 4. There is no expansion of node 3 and node 4. Then we can consider node 3 as a dead node and node 4 also considered as dead node and also node 1 also considered as dead node. Why? Because it is further no way of expanded. Further there is no way of expanded node 1, node 4, node 3. There is no use further. There is no children are to be generated further. That's why we can consider as node 1, node 3 and node 4 are considered as dead nodes. Students, I hope you already get some awareness on why branch and bound technique can be used to solve real problems, how branch and bound methodology can work based on the principle of optimization problem, and their applications and searching techniques also we discussed, and the difference between backtracking method and branch and bound algorithm design techniques we clearly discussed in this session, and also some of the notable definitions like live node, e-node, dead node for identifying in the state space tree can be clearly defined in this session. Now, let me focus on some important FAQs, multiple choice questions in this session. Now the question is, the branch and bound technique is applicable only for. Why we use branch and bound technique? Branch and bound technique is useful for solving optimization problems. Branch and bound technique is useful for solving optimization problems. What is meant by optimization problem? It is either a maximization problem or it is a minimization problem. So both maximization problem and minimization problems can be comes under the concept of optimization problem. But in branch and bound technique, we can focus on minimization problem only. Minimization problem only. We are not focused on maximization problem. We are not focused on maximization problem. Hence, the solution is A. The answer is A. Remaining two are not considered at all. Remaining two are not considered at all. So the solution is the branch and bound technique is applicable only for minimization problems. Only for minimization problems. Okay. Next question is multiple choice question is, which of the following is not a branch and bound strategy to generate branches? To generate branches. Branches in the sense we can generate branches by using LIFO. LIFO means last in, first out stack. We can generate for FIFO also you can generate using queue. Using queue we can generate. For least cost LC branch and bound also we can generate, but this is not, these three are considered as searching techniques, branch and bound searching techniques. But here, this is not considered as branch and bound searching techniques. Hence, the answer is D. Hence, the answer is D. This is not a branch and bound searching technique. Next question is very important question. Which data structure is used for implementing a LIFO branch and bound strategy? Last in, first out branch and bound strategy. So which data structures? There are some data structures are listed below. Stack is a data structure. Queue is a data structure. Array is a data structure. Linked list is a data structures. Among those available data structures, which one is considered as a LIFO branch and bound technique? LIFO means last in, first out. Last in, first out will always focus on stack. Last in, first out will always focus on stack. Whereas FIFO, if it is the FIFO first in, first out, it will always focus on queue. It will always focus on queue. So in this way, you can answer the questions. Very, very, very important. Do not neglect this question. Okay. Next question is, which data structure is most suitable for implementing best first search branch and bound strategy? Branch and bound strategy. So here BFS, breadth first search we use for constructing state space tree. We use BFS for constructing state space tree in branch and bound. So the data structure we can use is priority queue. Priority queue will be following the concept of BFS, breadth first search. So this is the right answer. Next, last question is, which of the following branch and bound strategy leads to breadth first search. So among the listed one, which one is mainly leads to branch and bound technique is, the answer is B. First in, first out branch and bound technique, that is called Q. First in, first out branching bound technique is used to solve in an efficient way to lead the solution. So that's why the answer is first in, first out. Okay. So hope we discussed 5 multiple choice questions only. And students, hope you all are enjoying my session. Thank you. Thank you, Monica.